Batman and Robin number 7, written by Peter Tomasi, art by Patrick Gleason. We left off last issue with nobody torturing Damian while Batman has to sit and listen, and this issue picks up right there with him continuing to do so as Batman's making his way to the GPS tracker. And nobody straight up tells him, like, hey, I'm just going to kill your boy now, okay? I'm just going to use my sonic powers to turn his heart and lungs into paste. And we see Batman driving with, I think, the Batmobile off of a bridge over onto a boat that's passing by underneath. And, of course, the boat is nobody's, so he crashes into the roof. And then the rest of the issue is basically just one giant brutal-ass fight scene where nobody just goes on and on about, like, oh, you took my father from me because you made me appear worthless in front of him, and you're a parasite and you ruined my life. But the world's going to not have a Batman, it's going to have a nobody. And Batman just goes on, like, you are just a spoiled little kid looking for daddy's approval, and the one person who actually gave you approval in life was your mother, and you killed her. You're an asshole. And he straight up just, they fight and they dive off this, like, catwalk thing, and they land right next to the vat of acid. And as Batman comes to, he picks up nobody and throws him into the vat of acid and starts holding him down in there. Which, yeah, it looks like he's going to kill him. But he looks over at Damian and sees his face, and he's like, okay, all right. And he pulls out nobody and tells Damian that they're leaving. And Damian's like, did you honestly think I betrayed you? And he's like, no, not for a second. Okay, maybe for a second. And as he's leaving, Batman starts trying to clear out some of the wreckage so they can escape before the ship goes down. And nobody looks over at Damian and is just like, don't disappoint me, Damian. You know I'm going to be back and I'm going to try to kill you again. This is your only chance. And so Damian, with Bruce watching, does the forehead poke thing, of course, incorrectly, and he kills Ducard. And then he looks at Batman and says, forgive me, Father, for I have sinned, with his fingers still, like, in the skull of the guy. So, yeah, short but brutal issue. Definitely very, very well plotted out. It definitely feels, you can feel the anger coming from Batman the entire way through, and that he is, like, really, really close to breaking his rules here. And when it comes to the acid scene, like, yeah, no, it seems like he's straight up just going to leave this guy burning in acid. And of course, it's seeing Damian and realizing he has to be better in order to get past that. It's a solid issue all around. Art-wise, it's the same it has been. Nothing too amazing about it. I still think that the heroes in the masks look better than the demasked versions, but maybe that's just me. Just a bit too heavy on the shadows sometimes. So overall, no. Yes, it's a short issue, but it is a fantastically well done one. And it definitely sets up, like, okay, after all of that, after everything we've been through, Damian killed the guy. He straight up committed murder on a guy who, while he probably would have come back, was not a threat at the moment and was not, like, an issue. So yeah, no, it's definitely setting up an interesting way moving forward for Damian. How we're going to rectify that moving forward, I don't know, but it's definitely setting up some interesting plot beats that they can tackle later on. So overall, I'm going to give this one a 7. A lot of that comes down to just that last few moments, because everything else, it's a fine fight scene, and you definitely feel the brutality of it, but in the end, it is still just a long-ass fight scene. And I get it, you know, it's fine, but it's the most basic superhero comic thing of just like, okay, and now we're just going to have an issue devoted to nothing but the fight, and then, you know, maybe a little bit of story at the end, which they did, and it was a good thing, but it still is mostly fight. So 7 for that, and we got one more issue left in this trade, and I'm interested to see how Batman squares the circle of Damian killing people again.